Hello, everybody, and welcome to Riftbound Ramblings. I'm your host, Barrett, and today is October 2nd, 2025, and we have a whole spread of things to be talking about, specifically information on the Riftbound and Worlds collaboration, a confirmed legend that is going to be in Spiritforged Set 2 for Riftbound, which is Ornn, as you can see by the silhouette in the top right, and then, of course, I'm going to be out of town this weekend for a commentating gig, so I am going to go ahead and do the tournament recap for Week 12 right now, specifically with an event that we had on Monday for Targon's Peak Ascension League with two different groups. But if there is any more events, we will of course cover them on Monday. But Monday is also going to be exciting because keep an eye out. We're going to have a video and information about the first North American regional that of course I'm going to make. So we will see you for that one, of course. But without further ado, we're going to talk about the news from this week. So first off, Riftbound Worlds Bundle 2025. Basically, if you didn't know, in League of Legends, we're in World Season. All the teams have been decided, and their seedings, of course, and it's going to be kicking off here shortly. We got a primer today talking about, or not today, but this week about talking about the format. And at the bottom of that primer, there was a little excerpt about the Riftbound Worlds bundle, and so I'm going to go ahead and read it for you guys. And it says, Riftbound is thrilled to join the action for Worlds 2025 with an exclusive Teemo bundle just for the occasion. This commemorative box contains a Panda Teemo promotional card, 3 oversized battlefields celebrating the event with a theme to Chinese cities, card sleeves, a foiled deck box and matching playmat for your favorite Riftbound deck, and the prestige and excitement that comes with 15 years of LoL esports. So here's a picture of Panda Teemo, the skin in game. So there's going to be some sort of promo using the skin. And then a bunch of other accessories for playing card games, which means that this is very different than the Arcane bundle that we know of in the box. But the oversized battlefields, I assume, are maybe going to be similar to like what's going on in the Proving Grounds product, but going to have different cities on them, but they will still function as the game pieces that they probably are in the game. And then, of course, they do a really good job with all the world swag every single year for League of Legends, so I'm excited to see what this looks like, and I will be trying to pick it up myself, honestly. So keep an eye out for this, and they have already told us that this will be available for pre-order on the Riot merch store, so you're going to want an account to get that ready if you haven't already. But we don't have a date for that yet, but we will go over it, of course, as soon as we know. As well as that, we have Ornn confirmed for Spiritforged Set 2 of Riftbound, and we know that it's confirmed because, well, on Twitter they gave us this silhouette photo here, and there's only one character in League of Legends that this could be, and it is Ornn because of the horns that we have at the top, and he is standing in front of something because his whole body / legs are all weird. Well, that's Ornn standing in front of an anvil, because he is forging weapons. That's what he does in the lore. And it makes a lot of sense now because the set is called Spiritforged, which makes me feel a little dumb because we could have maybe come to this conclusion a little sooner. But I went ahead and put the other promotional photos that we have for the set of Spiritforged because with this announcement of Ornn, we now know half of the legends that are going to be in this set, as long as it's the same formula as set 1. So we know 6 of them, which include Lucian, Ezreal, Irelia, Fiora, Rumble, which are also going to have decks, and now Ornn, so 6 out of 12 if it matches the same amount that we had from set 1. So if you're excited for Ornn, here he is. We're going to have a little bit more Targon gods in the game now because we didn't get a whole lot of them in set 1, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And now we are going to go ahead and do the weekly recap tournaments for Week 12, which is Ascension League. We're going to start with Group A. We're going to go through it, and we're going to do Group B as well, only doing the top 4 decks. It was a 48-player event where they split them up. And it shouldn't take us too long because we're going to have to talk about Kai'Sa quite a bit. Speaking of, here's 4th place at Group A. And this Kai'Sa list is probably something closer to what we saw like in the second Chinese regional, not the third one because there's no time warps here anywhere to be seen. But, big focus, of course, I'm going to say it once, big removal cards like Hextech Ray, Falling Star, and Void Seeker. And then on the top end, we play things like Darius and Thousand-Tailed Watcher. The sideboard here is kind of nice. We have the copies of Sprite Mother in case you need them in those matchups. I like the 1x copy of Singularity. I'm a big fan of that card. Unchecked Power makes sense for the board wipe, and even a copy of Dr. Mundo for the longer games. In 3rd place, we have another Kai'Sa list. This one looks a little different, specifically in the sense of I'm gonna say Ravenborn Tome being in here, or Tome being in here at a 1 of is. I mean, I understand, I know what it's doing, But I also really like the Veins. This Kaisa list to me looks pretty aggressive, is really what it comes down to. Because not only are we playing the Veins, but we're like sideboarding cards like Legion Rearguard as well to have access to low cost accelerators. Because we really care about getting on the board and getting some points. It's also, you know, we have the champion unit Kaisa at 3x right here, which is makes us a little more aggressively leaning, I think. But there is a copy of Time Warp in the sideboard, so you never know. That was third place. Now into second place, we have one of my favorite legends in the game, which is Set. And I like what this deck is doing because I think there is some real strengths to playing with Order right now. But this deck is playing 3 copies of the Body Domain Set, which I think a lot of the decks are leaning towards nowadays. And then the 1 copy of the Order Domain Champion unit, which is probably the one that we have in our zone. And then the good deflect units like Fiora and Kiana. I love the 3 copies of the Lee Sin Body Domain or Body unit as well. And then we have removal. So hidden blades, challenges, you know, stun stuff from face breakers, showstopper, of course. Like that's what you're going to basically be doing to kind of control the board. And then again, one of the big benefits of playing Order right now is, as you can see in the sideboard, we have access to Salvage, which is very good, into the Dazzling Aurora decks, and then Unyielding Spirit, of course, still for the Kaisa matchups. So really cool deck here, and I'm glad I got second place. Of course, it did end up losing to a Dazzling Aurora deck. This is very similar to the Master Yi deck that won the 4th Chinese Regional because we are ramping into Dazzling Auroras with big units. Catalyst of Aeons and Find Your Centers and Mobilizes to ramp, and the only units that we're playing so we can only grab good stuff are White Flame Protectors, Mountain Drakes for the 10 might, and of course the Dead Bloom Predator because that one is so impactful. Sideboard here looks really cool though. Like me some Anivia. Love the Ruined Prisons, of course, but this is very straightforward, and it's not surprising to me that we see that this very strong regional winning deck doing well here in the Ascension League. Moving over to Group B, we have 4th place, which again is another Kaisa. This one looking a little different because we are mainboarding Sprite Mothers, which is something we saw earlier on in like the first 2 regionals for Kaisa, as well as that playing the sideboard crazy cards, which are Immortal Phoenix, Iron Ballista, and we're now respecting the gear decks a little bit more, playing copies of Thermo Beam. Mainboarding the Dr. Mundo makes sense, and then of course the same removal cards that are very important for this deck. But getting 4th place here, not very surprising, but I like it being a little different still. In 3rd place, we have another Kaisa list. This one looks very similar to the first one we talked about in Group A. The only big difference here is the sideboard looks a little different in the sense of like 2x Progress Day and 2x Unchecked Power. But mainboard wise, it is a pretty straightforward, a lot of 3x's, and just opting for things like mainboarded retreats and less lecturing Yordles, basically, so that we can still keep our top end. In 2nd place, though, we have another Dazzling Aurora deck, which is not the Master Yi one, but the Misfortune one. And the biggest differences here is that we're going to be playing without the Calm Domain cards, but we gain access to Chaos Domain. So we get to play cool stuff like Mind Splitter, Soul Gorger as units to play from our Dazzling Aurora. We're playing Possession, which is so cool. It's including 1 extra in the sideboard. And then the cool little tricks like Gust, Treasure Trove plus Pack of Wonders, Ride the Wind, Fight or Flight, all very good, strong cards. The biggest thing here about the other top end is that we're playing 3 full copies of the Body Domain Champion unit Volibear because it has Shield 3 and Tank, and it says whenever your opponent goes to the battlefield not where it's at, you draw a card, so it just helps kind of keep your hand going. So not surprised here to get 2nd place, but the Misfortune, Dazzling Aurora deck's really coming in hot right now. And then in 1st place, we have, you guessed it, it's another Kaisa list. This one being a little closer to the 3rd Chinese regional deck in the sense of mainboarding the 1x copy of Time Warp, still playing all the other good stuff, of course, and our sideboard being a little more respectful of what's going on in the game, like Unchecked Powers, Singularities, 2x Thermo Beam. It makes a lot of sense. So kind of a big combination of everything that we've seen so far. But that's it. That is your event for Week 11 in our tournament recap. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Of course, as always, if you're excited about Ornn or the Worlds bundle, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about your excitement if you're going to end up picking up the Panda Teemo collab bundle. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video like this one. But that's going to be it for this one. I will see you all next week when I come back for the next one. Thanks so much.